After the Huskies' third straight loss last week, this team was looking for answers, and they found them in a pretty unlikely place. As running back Roxy Kennedy, who we pegged last year when breaking him down as more of an isolated loner type in the locker room, he spoke up. He was tired of the finger pointing, and even though most of it came from Cash Riley, he was tired of just the constant negativity in the locker room. He spoke up and said, we need to come together. Stop saying, I need better blocking, or you need to do better. We need to do better. We as a team need to do better. There's going to be some changes on the offensive line. 2 new starters are stepping in today to try to shake things up and maybe get some momentum moving in the right direction. Maybe a change will help, and maybe the guys who got sat will need that kick up the butt to try to motivate them to play better if they do get an opportunity later on. As this game against Eastern Michigan is a big one when it comes to trying to get back on track. We're playing at the not so aesthetically pleasing gray field against Eastern Michigan, who is also 2-4 quarterback Derek Dotson in the offense out there first, as they're led by a pair of Clarks at wide receiver. Kendall and Clifton Clark. We'll be seeing plenty of them, and Dotson's going to be finding them early and often as he goes to the outside. That's a pass caught for a first down after the broken tackle, and already the Eagle offense moving it as they go to one of the Clarks. That's going to be Kendall for a first down at the 10. Goal to go, and they try to run the football. Chambliss and crew got in, and it's 2nd and goal from the 13. Blitz set in, and he's going to go down. Sacked, and it's 3rd and goal from the 18. They go play action rollout. He's being chased. He throws it to Clark, and Kendall Clark, touchdown. And the Eagle offense has put points up on the board immediately and putting this NIU offense in an early hole. That's not what you want to see coming off a 3-game losing streak and a team desperately in needing for a little bit of momentum shift on the season as a whole, as Roxy Kennedy has wanted to really get the game put on his shoulders, the run game in general. If we can't run the football, then it's going to be a lot harder to pass the football. If you can't pass the football, then you're putting your defenses in difficult situations, and they all bleed into one another. Complementary football is very important, and last week against Bowling Green, it was just a disaster on the ground. Riley in the air, though, as he'll throw underneath for Gary Gibbons, and he'll have about 10 yards. It'll set up 3rd and inches. Kennedy on the ground, and a first down. Breaking a tackle, make it 2, and Roxy being hard to bring down for a gain of 6. And Riley to the air now, and the pressure gets in. 2 guys got there, and a sack will set him back to 2nd and 21. Now play action, Riley, and a man comes in, but he's going to float one over 2 defenders. Cooper Flanagan, and there you see some of the beautiful throws Cash can make as they go counter to Kennedy, and he's not going down on first contact. Another first down. How about going to a little RPO? Jalen Leanne to the 23-yard line as now split back. Martin Elena checks in, and Elena to the edge. Look at Roxy Kennedy out there, hits a block, and Roxy Kennedy gets another, and Martin Elena, touchdown. And Roxy Kennedy may not get the touchdown in the stat sheet, but how about a running back coming out here and doing this? Gets in the open field, hits the block on one, hits the block on the other, and seals a touchdown. May not go down in the stat sheet for him, but it's the type of play that makes coaches love Roxy Kennedy so much because he is such a selfless player, able to go out there and throw his body on the line for his teammate as Eastern Michigan has the football back at a first down to the 37, already in the 2nd quarter. Dotson's gonna go deep, and he's got 2 defenders to beat for Clark, and it's gonna be Holton and Swain making the play. 2nd down and 10, and even though Miles Graham got stiff-armed, it's still gonna be going down as a loss of 7, as they're gonna go Dotson on 3rd and long. He's just gonna see if he can try to run for it, but he's not gonna get there. He'll get 9, but we'll get the football back as Cash to the air, has Jalen Leanne underneath, who breaks a tackle, and Leanne for 5. You've seen Roxy leaking out on the wheel route. If he had more time, maybe he would have delivered that. As Riley, speaking of delivering, it's Gary Gibbons for the first down to the 43-yard line as Roxy gets the football, and he's got a first down. The blocking so far in the ground game's been pretty nice, I gotta say, as Elena tries to cut it upfield, loses maybe half a yard, but it's gonna be 3rd down and 10 with the free rusher in his face. It's incomplete, and from the 47, they punt it. And Eastern Michigan backed up as Burnett on the ground. He's their team's best player, but It's not been really much of him so far today, as that third down pass could have been intercepted by Graham off the helmet of the receiver. The ball was thrown just too early, as now punt return. Martin Elena back there to receive the kick, and Elena, solid return. Roughly 15 yards to get us close to midfield on the play, and now Kennedy to the outside, and Roxy has got another solid gain of 8 yards, sets up 3rd and 2. Roxy lines up at fullback, not going to get the first, but this time they're going to go for it as they go screen Kennedy's way, just enough for the first down. The utmost trust in this freshman this team has is Riley on 2nd down and 10. It's going to float one deep. He wants Kendrick, and it's broken up. Kendrick had some really nice plays over the last couple of weeks vertically, but they weren't able to get it done there. Elena on the screen's going to get 4. You're kind of in that fringe field goal range. Don't want to try it from 55. Instead, you go for it, and you're short on the Leanne grab. It's a rough spot to be in. We don't have a kicker we feel like can hit from 55 plus. You're in that no man's land. Don't want to punt inside the opponent 40. Just go for it, but just not enough to get the job done. Eastern Michigan wastes no time, though, getting past midfield. It's the play action over the middle, and that's going to be reeled into the 32. 2-minute warning has hit, as Burnett is going to break through 2 guys, but Chambliss knocks him down. Gain is 7, a 2nd down and 3 for Dotson. Clean pocket, lot of time. Someone's got to get in there. Some of the pass rushing woes have reared their ugly head, and eventually a touchdown is opened up as the extra point to make it a 7-point game is going to be blocked. And a rare blocked extra point from Session right up the middle. That's impressive. Offense comes out, and Roxy for another nice run. I mean, he's been running it so well this first half as Riley to the air. He's going to throw over the middle, little low, but Miles Kendrick has it. This team really wants to get Miles Kendrick working more in open space. He's got the athleticism, and you get him open over the middle again. Miles Kendrick to the 29. And Kendrick coming up with a lot of big plays, as now with 38 seconds to go, Riley extending the play, has his check down open, passes it up, throws it down the field, and it's intercepted. And these are the plays that Riley really needs to clean up, as he's going to take it back to the 40-yard line. And fortunately for the defense, they get it to 3rd down and 5. And even though they got a chance at it, the deep ball's going to be knocked away. And we'll go to half with a 13-7 game. But those are the plays where Riley, he had the check down open for a couple of seconds. Eventually they cut upfield, but just take the check down, take your couple of yards. Even in that situation, I'm fine if you'll run it, but don't just heave it in the middle of the field across your body. Now, second half is kicked off as Martin Elena back in his own end zone. Couple of yards deep, is going to take it out, and Elena is going to weave through the middle, and Martin Elena is striking down the middle of the field, and Elena is gone! Touchdown! Huskies start the second half with a Martin Elena 100-plus yard kick return, and that's his 2nd touchdown of the day. He got the one on the ground earlier, and now doing it on special teams. Extra point gives the Huskies the lead, and now the Eagle offense will take over, unexpectedly having to go out there the first 20 seconds of the second half, and now playing from behind as Dotson with a nice pocket, but no one got open, and the pass being broken up is going to give us the football back as Kennedy on the draw loses 2. Still averaging about 5 a carry as Riley to the air. He's going to throw outside, and Miles Kendrick having maybe one of his more productive days of the season so far as Riley's going to flow one over the middle. Cooper Flanagan has quieted down after his first 3 weeks where he was insanely good, but still, Flanagan has been spectacular for this team. 3rd down and 5. Outside, wide open in the flats. Miles Kendrick inside the 10. Gain of 26. Goal to go. Fake it to Kennedy. Get it up to Leanne. One cut inside. Jalen Leanne. Touchdown, Huskies. And Jalen Leanne hasn't had any big plays up until this point, but he finds the end zone. And now a 8-point lead as they'll kick the extra point, not go for 2. But suddenly this game has really turned in the favor of the Huskies after they were pretty unspectacular in the first half. Not outright bad, but not great either as the flag comes in. It was 3rd down and 6, so if it is a hold, which it seems like it is, it will be a decline and another 3 and out, and they're running a little cold halfway through this 3rd quarter as a little double motion And it's going to be Riley to throw it. He's going to float one down the field, and that's going to be incomplete. Wanted Flanagan again. Hasn't been able to hook up with him all that much. As now 3rd down and 10. He's got Leanne, and he just missed it. If he got that one to Leanne, I'm confident he was going all the way. But the Eagle offense takes over, and Miles Graham doing what he does best, getting tackles for loss in the run game. And now the pressure on 3rd down. It's a sack. As the offense, 3 straight 3-and-outs, and the Huskies take over at great field position. An 8-yard run for Kennedy. Play action. Riley has got Flanagan wide open, and Cooper Flanagan to the 37. As this 3rd quarter has been all Huskies. Can they keep pouring it on? Riley over the middle. Kendrick. That was nice from Riley. Drew the defenders up, delivered it in the face of pressure. As now Riley rolls out, hits the quick check down to Kennedy, and Roxy's got it to about the 20-yard line. 3rd down and 4. And Riley gonna throw underneath for Flanagan, who's running all the way to the end zone. He leaps over a defender, knocked out of bounds right at the 1. And now goal to go. Roxy Kennedy punches it in. And I think a well-deserved touchdown for Roxy on the day. Flanagan maybe could have challenged that one. Didn't really feel the need to, but that was an incredible play from Flanagan. 28-13 your score. And finally, Clark is going to get a 1st down for this Eagle offense. It took him till about the last play of the quarter. We're in the 4th now, and a 2-score deficit for the Eagles as they are going to run for a gain of 2. 3rd down and 3. Definitely 4-down territory. Blitz set in. He's going to chuck one deep. And Bakari Swain breaks it up. Swain been so locked down on that right side as the RPO up 4th down and 3. Swain gets out there. Slows him down and Elba finishes him off. It's going to be a stop. I am so impressed with Bakari Swain all year long. He's made very few mistakes as Elena on the sweep from the 45. Look at Martin Elena. He's putting on the Jets. And Martin Elena with the 3rd touchdown of the day. And Elena, he had the kick return touchdown and now 2 big touchdowns on the ground. What a day for Martin Elena. 35-13 as the Huskies pressure, sack, and they are just smothering this Eagle offense. And the run game on our side of the football is looking phenomenal. Everything's coming together, and this team badly needed a performance like this. 4th down and 9 with 7 minutes to play. It is his throwing. It's incomplete, and now offense is going to come out there, try to run out some clock. Martin Elena for the 1st down, as he's just got 6 carries, but he's made the most of them. As Jalen Leett's making the most of it. He catches 1 pass and takes it all the way. Touchdown, Huskies. 42-13 with just 3 minutes to play. And this game, what a turnaround. 13-7 at half. And the Huskies have just had one incredible half, and Eastern Michigan's been awful. From the 39 with under 2 minutes to play, that pass is going to be caught by Gibbons, and now in a situation where they can just run out the rest of this clock, they're going to give it to Elena again. He finds the lane, and Kendrick hits the block. Touchdown, Martin Elena again. His 4th of the day, his hat trick on the ground, all of them from distance. What a way to cap off an incredible second half. 42 points on the board and 0 for the Eagles in that second half. And the rushing attack, about 200 yards on the ground in total. And Martin Elena, out of nowhere, puts on a heck of a performance. One to remember for his career. His first career kickoff return for a touchdown, and then on offense, 8 carries, but 125 yards and 3 touchdowns, all of them from 20 plus out. That is one insane performance. He essentially touched the football all of about, 9 times the entire game? He had, 1 catch. So he touched the ball 10 times all game and put it in the end zone twice. That is absurd. And Martin Elena is going to obviously, and I think well-deservedly, not only take home a MAC Player of the Week, but a National Offensive Player of the Week for a 4-touchdown performance. And man, this team really needed something to go their way after the last 3 weeks, and it felt like we really settled down a bit. And I got to give a lot of credit to Roxy Kennedy because he did kind of corral the locker room, settle things down. And it's really interesting because when we highlighted him before, we were sitting there saying, oh, well, he's just more of a loner, outcast type, not really a vocal guy. But hey, these guys are 17, 18, 19-year-olds. They're still growing, they're still maturing, and maybe Roxy has matured a little bit and grown and broken out of his shell and has become a vocal leader for this team in a situation where he really needed one, because you typically look to your quarterback, but Cash Riley's maybe not the type of person you want to follow. He's not the guy you're going to run your head through a brick wall for, but if you can go and between Roxy and Martin Elena run for 200 yards, 4 touchdowns, maybe you start to find your identity a little bit, because the run blocking was a lot better with the offensive line changes that were made. But let's get into the recruiting section of things, where we take a look at one of our other top players on the board. We're targeting a lot of defensive players. We talked about Prince Sarentine. We talked about Aurelius Aritz. How about we go with a trifecta of defensive players on our board with Matthias Middleton and a safety out of Wisconsin who's got a little bit more interest from some higher level schools that we're battling out against. You know, we're not battling against MAC schools, but we are still in the race for a guy like him. Boise State, Washington State, and Minnesota are our competition, but this is the type of safety that we're really looking for. We did bring in a couple of guys. We got Shaq Alba, we got Matthew Hurt, and we got Masarena Alaya, who's a big project player, but we would like to get a little bit more of a solidified, reliable safety. Trevor Holton's not a, forever piece of this team, and this is a very well-rounded skill set of a player. Versatile is his game. He could play free safety, strong safety, play up close to the line of scrimmage in the box, can play in the nickel, has some ability to play man and zone coverage, because when you get a safety, sometimes they're just not able to man up on guys, man up on tight ends, or man up on slot receivers. He's not exactly great at either one, but he's playable in those. He's more of a jack of all trades, master of none in that regard, where he's played different roles every single year for his high school team, and he's just kind of played where they have needed him. And when he gets to the college level, I think he's at the very least a piece where you can just kind of plug and play him wherever you need, in a great kind of 6-man off the bench type. But I think there's real upside if he kind of finds that role and he can key in on one thing that he is good at. He is not a high-flying athlete, not a guy who's got insane range, not a big, strong tackler, hard hitter. Like I said, a little bit of everything. But if he could really key in on one role, like you stick him at free safety and tell him, master free safety, I think he could get a lot better. If you tell him, we really want to hone in on you as a nickel corner, you could do that. I think there's a lot of potential there for him to just kind of settle down in one role, because that's not something he's ever been able to do up until this point of his football career. If we bring him in, I probably would want to stick him free safety, play him in Trevor Holton's role, and let him get to work there. But, I mean, if that situation came where we needed to fill in somewhere else, maybe Masarena Alaya doesn't pan out, Shaq Alba, Matthew Hurt, they don't end up panning out, nickel corner is a bit of an issue for us right now. He's got the versatility to where he could play day one, and the potential is if he settles into one role and really sticks to it, he could really grow into a star-level player for this team. That's why teams like Minnesota and Boise State are after him, and he's, drawing a little bit more interest for a 3-star prospect. So Middleton rounds out the trifecta of our top 3 players on our defensive board. Aurelius Aritz, Prince Sarentine, Matthias Middleton. If we can get one of these guys, maybe 2, maybe in an ideal situation, all 3, we'd be celebrating, but any one of these players would be huge additions to this team, and maybe Middleton is the next starting safety for the Huskies. But now as we head into the next game, we are at home and busting out the red jerseys for a game against Central Michigan, where once again, even records, 3-4 versus 3-4, and a win here can pull us back to 500, but not only that, maybe even give us a chance to fight for a bowl game, as at 2-4, maybe we weren't thinking that was going to be a reality, but if you get to 4-4, it just might happen, as we are going to ride things on the ground. Roxy Kennedy, we get the drive started off with a gain of 5. Sweep it out to Martin Lane after his breakout performance. He's going to lose 2, And now 3rd down and 7. Riley to the air. He's going to go to Roxy Kennedy. And he's got 17 through the air. And now go back to him on the ground. Roxy makes a juke to the outside. And Roxy has another nice run. He's been doing so good the last now 5 quarters. But that is horrendous. Interception. There's a flag down. This is going to be a hold, so ignore the flag. Riley throws a awful interception and will turn things over to the Central Michigan offense. Tanner Applewhite, not a great passing season for him so far, but he is primarily a running quarterback for this team. We're going to be seeing him a lot on the ground. And here it is already with the speed option. Flip it out to the running back. And there is a flag down. So already early on in this game, just over 2 minutes in, we got 2 flags. Holding now for Central Michigan. Back them up to 2nd down and 12. They go to a little flip end around and wrapped up for a loss of 4. 3rd down and 26. Pop pass. I mean, it's 3rd down and long. And another flag. My goodness. Offensive line struggling today, I see. But it's not going to matter. 3rd down and 26. He's just going to punt the football away. And Roxy to the outside. Look at Roxy. He's got 1 man in the open field. Makes a move. Gets by him. And Roxy Kennedy to the 22-yard line. And maybe he's a little inspired after Martin Elena putting up some big runs. Roxy going into this game had never had a 20-plus yard run on the season. His longest was 19. And now Roxy on the screen. How about another 20 yards? And to the 1-yard line. He's got the offense down to a wide open Miles Kendrick in the end zone. And touchdown for the Huskies. They are looking incredible right now as they are trying to follow up on the second half of last week as the kickoff for Central Michigan is going to get them all the way to the 40-yard line. So maybe trying to just cool off this Husky attack. I mean, you count this quarter, previous 2 quarters, the last 3 quarters of Husky football has been a combined 49-0 outscoring our opponents as Vakari Swain gets the tackle. 3rd down and 5. Applewhite up the middle. He's going to try to fall forward, but he's a yard shy, and they're going to punt it. As Central Michigan really could have went for it there, but Martin Elena will field it at the 10, and Elena gets to the outside. Martin Elena cuts it back in. If he stayed wide, I think he could have gotten more yards, but him trying to cut inside, he was trying to make that defender miss and go all the way as Flanagan off the play action going to get a 1st down completion to the 43-yard line as Riley to the air. He's got pressure in and a sack. Loss of 9, 2nd down and 19 for Riley. He's looking, throwing it deep, and Gibbons not able to reel it in. 3rd down and 19. Got Flanagan in motion as they spread the field once more. Riley hit as he's throwing, and it's incomplete. And a Central Michigan stop is the 1st quarter. Under 2 minutes to play. They run to the edge, and this run defense has been spectacular. 5 carries, 3 yards for the back, and Applewhite throwing it deep. 1-on-1, swatted, and into the hands of Matthew Hurd. What a job from Holton. Right place, right time for Hurd, and an interception for the defense. It's been one area this defense has lacked. Forcing turnovers has been difficult. I think that's just the 3rd interception all season for the defense as that pass floated too far for Flanagan. 3rd down and 8. Riley to throw, and it's short for Kennedy. It's going to leave them a yard shy, but hey, I guess we'll even out the flags. 2-2 apiece for each offensive line to hold, back us up, but they're actually going to decline it. Give us 4th and 1. That's bold. And Roxy Kennedy. I don't know about that one. Giving us 4th down and 1 with the way we've been running the football. Jalen Leanne on the grab to wrap up the 1st quarter. Gets us to the 14-yard line. Sun has gone all the way down as Martin Elena stopped in the backfield. 4th down and 3. This time they're going to kick the field goal as the kick. It wasn't a long kick, but it's no good from 31 off the upright. And that's a bit brutal as Applewhite's going to scramble for a gain of 13. He is really not much of a thrower at all. They'll go with another end around, and that's not how you run it. You're just trying to cut it back the other way. You lose 7. The Central Michigan offense doesn't even look like they know what they're doing. They're going to get 5, but punt the football away as Riley takes over from the 27 in the shotgun. He'll set up the run for Kennedy, but he pulls last second and throws it to Leanne, and Jalen Leanne streaks by the defense, and he's gone! Just like that! 73 yards for Jalen Leanne! And it honestly picture perfect RPO for the offense. 14-0. Applewhite can't find anybody open. He'll scramble. And one of the bigger plays for Central Michigan all day, 20 yards on the ground. That's been the only thing working, is just QB scrambles. 3rd down and 7 for Applewhite. He'll try to throw it. It's high. It's incomplete. And NIU takes over. Running it with Kennedy. He's going to get himself 3 on the play. 6 minutes to go in this second quarter as Riley will roll. 3rd down, and he can't find anything. He'll just jump it to Kennedy. At least do that. Don't take the sack. Don't fling the ball down the field and throw a pick like you did against Eastern Michigan. So you like that a little bit better. And trust the defense. They're playing pretty dang good right now. They're playing their best football of the year, I feel like, as Central Michigan will get a first down to the 42-yard line. They'll run the football right up the middle. Finally, maybe string together some offense, or kind of in field goal range. Maybe they got the kicker for it as they'll sweep it to the outside. And look who it is! Miles Graham, tackle for loss. I mean, put him on an All-American team at this point, as the 3rd down pass is going to be caught. 4th and inch is the situation they're going for. Can't blame them. They'll throw it, interestingly, to throw it, and it's going to be incomplete. 4th and inches, and you throw it with the way they've been throwing all day. I don't know about that one. Kennedy out of the backfield's going to get 6, set up 4th down and 1, and we're going to go for Roxy. Has got a lead. Roxy Kennedy, stiff arm, puts him on the dirt, into the 24. Roxy's got 100 yards on just 9 carries. A taunt in the defender's face at the 24-yard line. Riley over the middle. Miles Kendrick for a gain of 9. Man, I'm so impressed with this offense. Riley's going to keep it on 3rd down and 1. Rare keeper for Riley. He won't get it, as now 4th down and 1. Martin Elena for the first down. Elena much more quiet today, as with a minute to play, Riley is going to go over the middle again. Pass was high, but Kendrick's got it. Set up at the 7, 3rd down and 4. They go Kennedy's way. Sheds off 1, and Roxy into the end zone. Touchdown, Huskies. And Roxy putting on one heck of a show right now. Over 100 yards, now finding the end zone. And he is running more motivated than ever, as it's 21-0. 3rd down situation for Central Michigan. Just 40 seconds to play. They'll run it. And yeah, they're not getting anywhere. We'll take this to halftime. And what a 4 quarters of play it's been for the Huskies. The last 2 quarters against Eastern Michigan, the first 2 quarters against Central Michigan, it has been pure domination. How about a combined 63-0 point differential in these 4 quarters? And you start the second half with Central Michigan with the football. They need to put points up on the board in the worst way if they're going to have even a slight chance at this one. And another tackle for loss sets up another 4th down and another punt. Riley to the air. He gets sacked as it's 3rd and 13. And the offense, little bit of communication issues, delay a game to start our first drive of the second half. I mean, we're not sweating it too much, but 3rd down and 18, probably not going to be able to get this one. Not going to do anything stupid. Keep it on the ground. Elena gets 3. We'll punt it away. Trust the defense that has been playing really good. And don't let Riley, maybe throw us out of this one and throw them back into it, because Riley will have a tendency to do that. He doesn't play situational football maybe the best that he can. As that grab is going to be made. That was an impressive one. Best play all day for Central Michigan. They're at the 28-yard line. Applewhite, he's going to take off and run it. He's got room. He's inside the 10. And Central Michigan, behind just the legs of their quarterbacks, getting the job done, but the running backs are not. Another tackle for loss. 3rd down and goal, and they keep running it, I guess, because the passing game ain't doing much better, but man, they're doing a lot of running the football from long-distance situations. And you got to question the play calling of Central Michigan, as Riley sets up the screen, and Cooper Flanagan gets the grab, and Cooper can run it a little bit. He's not the easiest to bring down, as Riley's going to hand it. Roxy to the outside. Roxy's running through defenders for 15. And this offense playing its best football. Look at the blocking, and look at Roxy for another first down. Riley to the air. Passes high, and Drew's got it for a gain of 5. A rare catch from another tight end as Riley back to the air. He's looking. He's throwing. Takes the shot over the middle to Miles Kendrick. And man, Miles Kendrick, once we started to really implement him over the middle more, it's been really impressive as he catches the slant there once again over the middle for a gain of 7. Toss it out to Kennedy. And Roxy, even though he's not the best perimeter player, he's got us the first and goal. Now at the 3 as they hand it to Martin Elena. Not going to find the end zone. 3rd down and goal from the 4. Hand it to Elena once more. And it's not going to work from the 5-yard line. This team likes to play aggressive, and there's no real need to here. Just kick the field goal. Go up by 21, and don't let Central Michigan do anything crazy in these final 8 minutes as they'll go with the pass underneath. It's going to be caught. He sheds a tackle, and Swain couldn't bring him down, but Holton does, and other defenders come in. The ball is loose. Bakari Swain scoops it up, and there's no review. That one looked like it came out a little late, but they're not going to review it, and it'll be NIU football. Elena on the ground, finds a lane, and Martin Elena finally rips off a nice run of 16 yards. Goal to go once more. We get the 3rd down and goal. Passes too high, and once again, just take the field goal. Don't do anything silly, and it is 27-3 with under 4 minutes to play. And man, Central Michigan just hasn't been able to do anything. 4th down from their own 30. Passes just going to be down the field, incomplete. Coverage has been incredible all day. Everything's just been so good. How about a little trickery? Unnecessary, but Jayla Leanne, they had a Central Michigan player give up on the play, and Leanne gets 26 yards. That dude's getting benched tomorrow as Kennedy punches it into the end zone. Touchdown. Huskies one more time, and the game is over 34-7. And man, I am loving what I am seeing. How about another phenomenal performance on the ground? Cash Riley's not been really needed to do all that much. He had the 70-yard touchdown, the RPO, but look at the passing game for Applewhite. 6 of 14. They didn't throw it much, and they didn't throw it well. They ran it a lot, but other than the scrambling from Applewhite, running game wasn't good either. It was a full team effort. Roxy goes for 161 and 2 touchdowns. What a day from Roxy. Leanne just 2 grabs, but a 73-yard touchdown. We're going to be A-okay with that one. And man, I can't say enough about how good this team played today. That was just one amazing performance. I can't think of really any aspect of the team that was all that bad. I mean, I guess we missed a kick, but I'm not sweating it if we're winning 34-3. As we do have to go back to recruiting, say goodbye to a couple of players on our boards that we're going to give up on, as Tolson not going to happen for us, and Nicholas Neely probably not going to happen unless we can make a comeback there. Got some players that are still deal breaker issues for us, so it's not going like amazingly on recruiting, but we still have some room, and we still have some players that are very much in the running. Where, I mean, obviously we're going for offensive line. Even though the run blocking was a lot better the last 2 games, we're still going really heavy on the offensive line and even adding more players to our board. But let's get to the next section of recruiting, where we did talk about it not only last year, but at the start of this season. Texas edge rushers are the move. For the last 2 seasons, we had Robert Morello last year. We talked about Prince Sarentine, who we have a real good chance at. But how about we go back to Texas, go to Laredo for one of the top 10 edge rushers in this upcoming recruiting class, Kaliko Hood. This is a guy at 6'4", 270 plus, is more of your hand in the dirt type of edge rusher, not your guy that you're aligning further out wide, stand up, go around the tackle, try to use his bend, his speed. He's not one of those type of rushers. He is a 4-3 defense, put your hand in the dirt, defensive end type, who is not only a adequate enough pass rusher to play 3 downs, but he is one of the better run stopping edges that you're going to find in the nation this year. He sets the edge very well, and it's hard to find edge rushers that can combine really good run stopping ability with pass rush ability. Typically, especially when you go look at the NFL, there's not a lot of high-level pass and run defenders, and those types of guys are so rare, and those guys are like some of the best in the league. Typically, you get guys who are more situational, rotation, 2-down guys. You take them off the field, you get your designated pass rushers in. Kaliko Hood, while not excelling at pass rush, is still playable on 3rd down and really is one of the better run-stopping edges that you're going to find. I think, he may have a little bit of a slow ascent to reaching his full potential. He's not somebody who's got, like, an absurd level of athleticism. He's very powerful, though, bulldozing level power, the type that you'll see some explosive reps where he just flies off the ball and just puts guys on their backs. And he's had some reps where they even push him a little bit further inside. They've had some alignments where they try to have him stand up. I think if you want like a high-end comp on him, you know, all things go right for him, this is like Rashawn Gary for the Green Bay Packers. And Rashawn Gary, like Kaliko Hood and Rashawn Gary, the similarity that they share is there's going to be some time there taken. Gary was a first-round pick for the Green Bay Packers, and it took him a little bit of time to really develop, come into his own, and now he's, you know, one of the higher-end edge rushers in the league. And for Kaliko Hood, I think early on you're looking at him going to one of these big schools, rotational, two-down player, develop that pass rushing bag. It's a little limited, it's a little inconsistent at times, but once you kind of get the pass rush profile really out there, combine that with his ability to stop the run, you're looking at a true three-down, high-level edge player who has very translatable skills to the next level. For as much as that 3-game losing streak hurt, we have a chance to bounce back in a big way for a 3-game winning streak, and that's something that you're just going to get with one of these young teams. They ride hot, they ride cold. Right now, they are hot, and can they stay hot against one of their rivals, Ball State, on the road? And this would be a big game, not just for our bowl game aspirations, not just for our momentum, but also conference record. Cardinals sitting at 3-2, and with the win, we'd be at 3-2, surpass them. It's looking like at the top of the MAC. We'll check it out after this game, but it's looking very much like Buffalo's going to run away with things for the first seed, but the second seed is still pretty wide open. There's a non-0% chance that we can go and snag that second spot, especially if we stay on our hot streak. And we're going to try to do that with our ground game, as we're going to go play action this time, though. And there's Cooper Flanagan with the first down grab to the 32-yard line. Once again, starting things off on offense. Pistol formation, and they go at Kennedy. In the backfield, he gets stopped for a loss of 4. As now 2nd down and 14. Riley floats one outside. Jalen Leanne, and he's past midfield. Leanne for a massive gain, and to set this offense up where Roxy Kennedy breaks free. Kennedy, 44 yards, touchdown. Downfield blocking, phenomenal, and Roxy, who is one of the catalysts of this team getting hot, has been the dominant X-Factor game changer on the field with the way he has been playing the last few weeks. And he's done it again with his longest run of the season. Now Ball State's offense takes over as they go RPO, but the pass behind and over his receiver for Corey Swain. Right place, right time, touchdown. Huskies, first defensive play, and Swain runs right up to the cheerleaders and starts getting in their face as Ball State in just 2 minutes is down 14-0, and the team is looking like they are riding higher than ever. You can see the energy on the sidelines has changed. The energy on the field has changed. Everything is going in the way of the Huskies as Ball State's got to try to, recoup and cool things down a little bit, maybe get the home crowd back in their favor. Quarterback Tyson Bourget is really trying to recover after that awful interception. That was really just all on him, but he's got a clean pocket here, and that pass incomplete, 4th down, and just like that, even though they got the ball moving a little bit, it's back to the Husky offense as Martin Elena tries to run it wide, and it's going to not result in any yards and a flag down. So even though the offensive line has played a little bit better with some of the changes, the penalties are still there in bad situations, and it's really hurting the offense. 2nd down and 15, and in the face of pressure, he just throws it deep, and it's incomplete. Riley now 3rd down and 14, and setting up the screen. Kennedy cuts it back inside, and Roxy Kennedy takes a 3rd and long screen, takes it for the first down and more, as now from the 42, Riley, open man, Miles Kendrick, and he's at the 20, Kendrick for the 10, and he's brought down. They call it at the 11. Riley to the air, back to it again, as a comeback, Gary Givens, touchdown. And the Husky offense now does it through the air. And Cash Riley, I guess he'd take a little bit more off his plate, and he's able to deliver as it's been a lot better for Riley in some of these situations and not having to be running for his life, and the run game is a big part of that. As, I mean, Ball State, curiously enough, Caden Britton, their tight end, wears number 50. I don't know where he got that from. They run out of jersey numbers or what, as Ball State has got a 3rd down and 4. Forget on the slant route, and Armstrong makes a jump on it, and he's played a lot better last couple of weeks. He's been kind of the weak spot in the first part of the season, but he's played a lot better. Speaking of playing a lot better, Miles Kendrick getting way more involved in the offense these last couple of games, and it's really helped us. Now a deep shot for Kendrick over the head of everybody. 3rd down and 3, and Riley, it seems like anytime he gets in the face of pressure, his motive is just fling it deep, as Kennedy reaching for that 1st down has it. Riley back to the air. Will float one for Flanagan, and a little too short. If that ball was up more out in front, I think he had a chance at it, as Elena to the edge. And ever since the big game at Eastern Michigan, it's not really been a whole lot for Elena, but that's kind of part of his thing. Is he's a spark plug. That's kind of what we called him when he got him. And he'll make big plays, but he's not going to have big appearances and big showings in every game, as the broken tackles here. That was incredible for Durham, as it's going to be Ball State on 1st and 10 from the 39. 2nd quarter underway, and a completion for a gain of 8. That's Britton, the tight end, and they go down the seam. Open man, and Patel for a 1st down, as at the 26-yard line, Ball State goes down with the sack, and I thought maybe they were finally going to put some points up on the board, but from field goal range, it'd be a 47-yarder. Can they get the 1st down? As they go over the head of the receiver, it will be a 47-yard field goal try. Kicker is got the leg, just enough accuracy, points on the board, but they still find themselves down 3 scores, as with 7 minutes to play, Riley option flips it out, Leanne, and we've been making sure to give Leanne 1 to 2 carries on the ground even, as we've been loving what we've been seeing, but we don't love to see that. Cash Riley with an interception, and that was just all on him. Horrendous throw. Led him, I guess, on the inside on a corner route. I guess the miscommunication, or maybe that ball just slipped out his hands. I don't know what that was. Maybe he just didn't know what route he was running, but whatever that was poor. And now Ball State down the middle for Britton. 1st down to the 8-yard line. And just like that, Ball State can really put themselves back into this game, and a touchdown. And Horton punches it in. And the 1st touchdown for Ball State makes it an 11-point game, as Kennedy on the ground, Leanne hits a block, and this downfield blocking has been incredible. 30 yards for Roxy Kennedy, and he is just lighting up big play after big play, blocking phenomenal, everything phenomenal. Riley, pocket presence not phenomenal, design rollout, yes, but you got to manage the pressure a little bit better. 3rd down, screen gets blown up, not happening, and a punt, and I know up by 11 still, but Ball State feels like they got the momentum right now. They put points up on the board on 2 consecutive drives and have the interception, have the ball back. I mean, it's looking like Ball State can pull themselves back into this one with 3 minutes to go in the half. Over the middle, that's reeled in, and a 1st down for Durham, as Bourget is got a pressure in his face, and the running back out of the backfield's going to lose 5. Would have been way better to just drop that football. Bourget to the air on 3rd and 10. Slant route, incomplete. Pass was too high, and it made it a little too difficult for the receiver, so Ball State's field goal cuts it down to a 1-score game, so 13 straight points for the Cardinals. And now you got to look at the offense, where Cash Riley pressure in his face, but Jalen Leanne leaking out on the motion. That's a good job from Riley. That's how you deal with the pressure. Find your open man, and he trusted Leanne on that one. And, I mean, that's how you do it. And this one, a little bit more risky. Flanagan, one-on-one incomplete. From the 49 now, just a minute to play in the half, and it's 3rd down and 10. Riley's going to run. He's not going to get it, and the offense is just going to take it to half. So Ball State did not call a timeout, and wanting to, stop the bleeding a little bit and not give Ball State any more opportunities, they just take it to half. 21-13. It started like it was looking how it was looking in the second half of the Eastern Michigan game and how it looked in the Central Michigan game. You thought maybe NIU was going to run away with this one, but the rivals were not going to let that happen. 21-13 as Ball State's got the football in the second half, and Horton, broken tackle, and after the first down, he gets it to the 47-yard line. Now Bourget, pressure in his face, gets it to Horton on the check down again, and another first down. Got to get somebody out there, but that's kind of the risk you take when you send the blitz as much as we have been, and sometimes it works just like that for a loss of 2, and sometimes you get an open lane on the ground, and the Cardinals are the 22-yard line. They can tie it up on this drive, and Horton, they're running it a lot better this time around, coming out in the second half, wanting to really establish the ground game a bit more now that they can. They weren't maybe able to do that down by 21, but they are able to do it here, down by 8, as they run it again, this time in the backfield. 3 guys got in and a stop. 3rd and 13 for Bourget as running back leaks out of the backfield. They're going to go high into the end zone, and the hit from Chambliss jars the ball loose, so we survive a little bit longer with another field goal try for the Cardinals being through the uprights. Now let's get the ground game for our side going a little bit more. Kennedy, 8 carries only, but 92 yards, so he's been running it well. And that pass on the outside, it's 3rd and 2, wanted to lead him up the field a little bit more. Instead, he took him out of bounds, and that's going to cost us possession. Now, Ball State, they really got the momentum, 16 unanswered, sneaking it for the first down, and they got the ball at midfield now. And third quarter, it's been all Ball State with the footballs. There's only 3 minutes to go, and there's Durham, first down and more, the 31. Another field goal range opportunity, but they want to finally get it in the end zone to take the lead. As they got it to 2nd and 1, give it to Horton. He's got the first down. They're in the red zone. And how demoralizing would it be for the Huskies to blow a 21-0 lead and lose this game, lose their streak, and go back below 500 as they go into the run. And Miles Graham with a tackle for loss. I say it, I feel like every single game. And there's another one, but the RPO delivers them the first down in the 3rd quarter. Maybe just a play left. Horton dives in. Touchdown, Cardinals. And the lead for Ball State from 21-0 to now on top as Bourget takes the QB draw for the 2-point conversion. And no, they will just have a 1-point lead. Now it's time for the offense to lock in a little bit, and we know where we want to go. Roxy for 8 yards. He's up over 100 on the day. 4th quarter underway as they go to Leanne. To the edge, Leanne. You want to lean on your stars, your leaders, the guys you trust. We trust Roxy. We trust Leanne. But he loses 7 on the end around. 2nd and 17. Riley floats one. He's got Kennedy. What a ball, and Kennedy reels it in. First down. Roxy out of the backfield. Now Miles Kendrick for a gain of 7, sets up 3rd and 2. And Elena can't get the first. And maybe if it was a little bit closer, we consider going for it, but the field goal for the lead on 4th and 3 is good. And just like that, we've taken the lead right back on that incredible play to Roxy Kennedy through the air. As now Bourget in the offense from the 33, 7 minutes to play in a 2-point game. They'll go to Britton underneath. He's got the grab, and he hangs on for a gain of 6. Now 2nd down and 4. Horton on the ground. Blocking is phenomenal, and Horton's got a lane. And Horton, late flag comes in. And that is devastating for Ball State. That was such a late flag. Back them up. Now it's 3rd down and 8 instead, as they're just going to throw one deep, 1-on-1 for Armstrong, and it really seems like they're trying to pick on Armstrong, our weak link, but he's not proven to really be a weak link today. He's playing pretty well, and that could be the difference, as Riley is going to throw it over the middle. Miles Kendrick led him up the field, and that was a good connection. Martin Elena on the ground, and Elena gets 4. He's got it to 4.5 minutes to play in a play action. Riley getting chased, and he goes down. You thought the play action could be a little bit more effective. Now a rollout for Riley. He's hit as he's throwing, and it's 4th down. They punt it. Back up Ball State to their own 11, and a tackle for a loss for Sessions. He's got him to 3rd and 9 with 3 minutes to play. Slant is incomplete, and they're going to have to punt it. And there's Martin Elena back to return from his own 40-yard line roughly. He's going to take the punt, cut it back, weave through. So close to breaking it, but the offense takes the field. Little toss. They fake the reverse to Leanne, and it opens up the field for Roxy Kennedy. What a call for a gain of 28. They had Leanne come in motion and try to fake the end around. Defense bid. Kennedy up the middle, down to the 1, and trying to seal this game. Roxy in for the touchdown. And what good run design on that that whole drive, that trio, I mean, it's a 1-yard touchdown, but the fake, they really were setting that up, it seems like, the last few weeks to bust it out whenever they needed it at the right time. That was the perfect time, and it might have sealed the game, as it's a 2-score game with just 2.5 to go. And for Bourget and the Ball State offense, they're down to a single timeout, really going to be relying on an onside kick if they could score, as they're giving them the time to throw it. I don't think NIU's really concerned that much. They just need to recover the onside kick, not let them score too quickly. Bourget, a lot of time again, and they go underneath again. And NIU's giving it to them. They don't really have any worries. They just got to make the tackles and not let anything crazy happen. They make another open field tackle in the field of play. 3rd down and 2 with 1.5 to go. Bourget, that pass was almost intercepted. Could have been, should have been. And on 4th down and 2, Bourget's going to run for the 1st down. But once again, little by little, they're moving it, but little by little, the clock is draining, and they're going to go over the middle for Wharton. But again, over the middle, they're giving it to them. Another pass, that one sails over his head, but that was going to be in the middle of the field as well. So NIU's not really giving them many opportunities to go to the outside. That was their one. They get it to the 5-yard line. Wharton stopped by Miles Graham, 30 seconds to play. 3rd and goal, and they're going to throw to the end zone. Incomplete. Alba got there, and they're going to just take the field goal. I mean, I think you should go for it, but you're just going to maybe give yourself a Hail Mary chance if you can recover the onside, but you don't. Gary Givens scoops it. Riley takes the field to kneel it, and the game is over. It was looking like a Husky runaway. But after the 21-0 start, Ball State really did a phenomenal job putting the pressure on us. But 4 straight losses to Ball State over the past couple of years has finally come to an end. And I think a big credit for that has to go to the star of these last few days, really. That is Roxy Kennedy. What a job he has done over the past 3 games, and stepping up as more of a vocal leader and then backing it up on the field in that way is just like, that is everything that this team needed right now. And for Martin Elena, I know people maybe after the Eastern Michigan games like, hey, why is Martin Elena not touching the ball more? Why is he maybe not even the starting running back? Well, that's the reason why. He's a home run hitter. He is a big play threat. He is a limited carry guy. He gets banged up, pretty easily if you give him more than like 10 touches. So he didn't have a good game. 4 carries, -1 yards. The big plays weren't hitting, but for Roxy Kennedy, they were. 3 20-plus yard chunk runs, and man, I just, Roxy's been special the last 2 weeks especially, and even the game against Eastern Michigan wasn't a crazy game, just 80 yards, but I mean, hitting the blocks, doing everything he needs to do. We said it when we went into training camp and spring ball and everything, like Roxy really stood out and was maybe the best player that we had when it came to just overall impressing us. And naming him the week 1 starter was, even though we lost a lot of guys, we could have went to Amir Smith, we could have went to our depth, we could have went somewhere else, but naming Roxy, we put the faith in him. He's delivered in every facet, in every way that we could have asked for. So proud of what we have there. And when we get to recruiting, we got one more player to talk about, and we're going to go over to the offensive side of the football this time around. And how about let's talk about one of the other quarterbacks that we have, John Nosal from California, 6'2", 220, the number 7 QB in the class. A lot of teams interested, 4-star prospect, and this is your more modern, I don't want to say system QB, but more modern coach moldable QB that like you really will mold him to the system of your offense. And he's got some dynamic ability to him. He can run, but not like a creative runner, not someone that you're designing read options for as much. This is a guy who, not a lot of run options in his game. This is a guy who you're going RPO, run pass option. This is in the mold of your Tua's at quarterback, but a stronger arm than Tua, who's got kind of like bottom tier starting quarterback arm strength in the NFL level. But this is a guy who is just all processing, all between the ears, as he's able to be almost robotic in some aspects, where he just is able to take the snap, make the quick decision, and deliver the ball, hand it off, keep it, do whatever he's got to do. He's a mover. He can extend. The big difference between him and some of these other more pro pro-ready quarterbacks, but also more system guys, as they're very structurally dependent. And what makes John Nassau a little bit of a tier ahead of that is he's able to play out of structure a bit. He's able to extend. He's able to get past the second and the third read. He's able to get to that level. So he's not purely dependent on just the robotic, structured offense, RPO, predetermined stuff. He's able to get the reads beyond that. We don't know to the extent because his experience is limited in there. His offense at high school was just pure RPOs, but whenever he was just shown to really drop back and get through his reads and be in those situations, 2-minute drills, all that stuff, he did it well. He just doesn't have a lot of experience to really give you like full confidence that he is that guy. That's maybe what's separating him from being like a 5-star, because he's got the arm, he's got the ability, the athleticism, he's got the statistics, he's got the resume, the record to back that all up. But obviously when you don't have a lot of just pure drop back ability and drop back experience, the footwork is a little spotty, the ball placement can be a little inconsistent at times. You need to clean that up. He's definitely a quarterback who you don't want to throw into the fire day one unless you do kind of run that RPO offense. But there's going to be either two categories that he falls into. He's either going to go to one of these offenses that he ran in high school, in a more expansive version of that, and really run it well, be kind of one of these game manager, point guard type of quarterbacks with some mobility. Or a team can maybe explore some of the more drop back elements, develop him. He's got the raw talent, and try to diversify his overall ability to play the full quarterback position, where he does, I really think, have the potential to do that. So interesting to see where he goes and what route the team that gets him decides to go down with him. And that will bring us to the closing section. You can take a look at how we wrap up our schedule. Western Michigan, really tough Buffalo opponent, in a 6-3 Akron. Like I said, it's not impossible for us to make the conference championship, but we'll need to win out. And hey, maybe we go and run the table 6 in a row and we're able to do that. But I think you got to be a little bit more realistic with this team. Like I said, they can run hot and cold, and at any point, maybe that cold streak can kind of rear its ugly head. But for now, we're riding a high that we really were desperate for, I feel like, because, you know, after the first 3 weeks of the season, we're really excited, and then it slipped away, and you thought maybe this is where we're going to show our true colors, fall down, 4-win, 5-win season. And yeah, you realize you got to rebuild a little bit more. But hey, we're sitting here, 5 wins on the season with 3 to go, and a bowl game is potentially in our sights. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. Let me know what you all thought, if we can get to a bowl game, and how you thought of the performances of Roxy Kennedy and others. Like, comment, and subscribe, as all that stuff is super helpful. And I will see you guys all in the next one.